Hi, it's Lipstick Gal. Thanks for watching today. I wanted to do a look using the ColourPop and Kathleen Lights So Jaded palette. I've had this for a while. I've already used it a handful of times, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. When I first saw it, it was a little bit, I don't know, because there's a lot of colors in here. It's their first mega palette. It has 30 shades, and I was concerned. I keep looking at it going, there's some colors in here that I don't know about, I'm uncomfortable with, what do I do with? But I wanted to do something today that would kind of showcase how easy this palette is to use. In every single look I've used it for so far, it has been absolutely easy peasy lemon squeezy. I mean, I even hate saying that, but it's just like the easiest thing ever to blend. And there was only like 1 or 2 shades that didn't work for me. All right, so thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and let's get started. So I already have my lids primed. I have a little bit of the Jouer Essential High Coverage Concealer on, and then just a layer of the Hourglass Veil Setting Powder just to kind of make sure that nothing grabs down in one specific place and that the concealer doesn't crease. I'm going to start with this shade here. This one's called My Precious. It's a creamy, I would say bone colored shade, and this is the perfect color just to kind of blank out the whole lid. And I would probably use this even as like a arch of the brow highlight. Super nice for that. But I'm just going to start by sweeping it all over the lid. I'm going to go into this shade right here. This one's called You're a Gem. I'm just going to pick that up on a slightly fluffy natural hair brush, and I'm going to work that right into my crease. What I like about this shade is it's almost like a cantaloupe shade. It's not quite as vibrant or orange as a cantaloupe, but it's a really nice, super easy to blend. I start with just kind of laying it down, and then little circular motions really helps to kind of diffuse it, and I want it to kind of go up and out. The next shade I'm going to use is right here. This one's called Jasper. This has been one of those that I didn't really think I was going to love, but then I tried it and I was like, I love it. Absolutely think it's a gorgeous, beautiful shade. It is I don't know, it looks matte, but it could be even a satin shade. And I'm just going to pick it up right here, and I'm going to work this, just tap it nicely right out here into the outer corner, and then blend. I'm really impressed. I mean, I've always been impressed, but I really feel like for $40, basically $39 is the cost of this palette, these shades blend so easily and so well. Part of that has to do, of course, with the tools that you use, but I think that the powders really work so beautifully. And it's almost like they blend themselves. The mattes especially. I'm particularly taken with the mattes in this palette. I think the colors are great, the selection is nice, and it's like, there we go, blended. I feel like every time I use the shade Jasper, I always pull in this one. It's called Ametrine. So I'm going to go for that next, and I'm going to place that over the majority of my lid. I really feel like this palette has a really great selection of these shimmery, kind of champagne and slightly taupey shades. There's one here, there's a couple here, there's this one, there's this one. It's really beautiful. So I'm going to use a combination of this shade right here, which is Moonstone, and the Super Shock shadow in here, which is Diamond, to kind of highlight my lid a little bit. I'll use Moonstone right on that inner portion, and then I'll tap some of the Super Shock and Diamond all over the lid. What's interesting about Moonstone, it has just a hint of blue shift to it. And I think it's nice to have a mixture of warmer shades and then things with a slightly cooler tone to it. I think it's really pretty. I absolutely love that ColourPop has been putting in Super Shock shadows into their palettes. I think that they should do more and more of that. And I would prefer having that other than the glitter that they included. There are 2 glitter shades in this palette. One is Topaz and one is Opal, and although they're beautiful, I've not been as careful with the glitter application as I should be, and I've gotten glitter in my eye, and I'm just like, this is not the place I want to be. And I know that none of the glitters that Colourpop has are considered eye safe, yet they keep showing up in eyeshadow palettes. And I know there's a variety of ways you could use it on your face, you could use it on your body. I saw Kathleen Lights use some in her hair, but at almost 45, I feel like glitter in my hair or like across my décolleté, unless it's like a specific look for a costume party or Halloween or something. I'm a little old for that. But the shimmer and the glitter that we get in these Super Shocks, sign me up. I just absolutely love the sparkle in this. It's probably my favorite shade in the entire palette. All right, I'm gonna do a little something on the lower lash line. I'm gonna start out with that first shade called You're a Gem. It's a little bit warm. We're gonna run this on the lower lash line. Then we're gonna put a little bit of Jasper on and maybe a little bit of Moonstone in the inner corner. Well, maybe a little more. I'm gonna take a really teeny tiny brush and I'm gonna start with that bone shade called My Precious, just right here in the arch of the brow. I'm gonna throw on some liner and mascara and we'll be right back. So to finish off the look today, I wanted to try one of these Just a Tint lip crayons that I got from Colourpop. I've had them for a while and I haven't had a chance to try them. This one here is called Cherry Pickin'. Let's see what we think. I love the way these feel. It's definitely more of a warm toned brown. Oh, that's pretty. I like it. The other shade I have is called Give Me S'more. This one's a little bit more, I don't know, I'd say it's a little bit more neutral, not quite as warm. Cherry Pickin'. This is Cherry Pickin'. It's a little bit darker, a little bit more warm. This is more neutrally in that nude range. But I like that they're soft, they're emollient, they're super comfortable on the lips, and that's the sort of thing that I look for when it comes to lip products. I know these aren't going to be super long lasting, but I don't think they're going to be hard to reapply. These might even be the sort of things that I could reapply without a mirror. Now, thinking about this eye look, I really, really like it. I feel like every look I've done with this palette has been beautiful. Let's do some swatches. This is the first row. It starts here with Diamond and goes across. You have a couple of really light reflective shades in here and a couple of really nice nudes that work really, really, really well. The bright pop in there, that is Ruby. I think it's a gorgeous shade. So this is the second row. It starts here with this very, very light pale matte shade called My Precious, and then it moves across. This one is Sunstone, this one here is Pearl, this one here is Citrine, Garnet, and Ametrine. Ametrine is one of those, it has kind of a plummy, almost dusty rose undertone, and it does have some glitter in it, but it really acts like a matte shade if you just keep buffing and buffing and buffing. So this is the third row. It starts out with a really flashy, almost yellowy green one called Peridot. You do have both of these glitters in here. I don't know that I feel comfortable using these on the eyes. I have used Colourpop glitters on the eyes before, but then I ended up with glitter in my eyeball and it was not comfortable. This shade I've used quite a few times already. This one here is Aquamarine. It's absolutely beautiful, but I feel like you've got some really gorgeous options, despite the fact that I feel like these two are not going to be ones I'm going to be able to use. So this is the fourth row. You do have some really nice warm tones. This is kind of a cooler toned brown. You have a slate type of gray, turquoise, and this one's called Onyx. It has a nice shift and flash to it. It looks kind of like a charcoal with a little flip of blue and silver in it. But we're starting to get into some of the darker shades in this palette. So this is the last row. We start out with a really vibrant and metallic emerald shade. This one's called Jaded. This one right here is Alexandrite, Smoky Quartz, Amethyst, and Sapphire. And this is where we get more of those cooler, more intense colors in the palette. I think this palette is a fantastic value. $39 does seem kind of like a lot, especially for a more budget-friendly brand like Colourpop. I think it's the single most expensive one item they've ever done, but you're getting 30 shades. That's a lot. And so it's $1 and change per shade. And I think that's definitely fair. Now, the quality is good. There is one shade in here that doesn't quite have the pigmentation that I would like. It's called Fluorite. It does have a really pretty shift to it, but once you start to blend it out, it almost goes away. So I like to just kind of take it and like tap it over my lid. I guess now that I've actually done it, better doing the other side too. Just a little bit to bring in some of that really beautiful shift, but it's not one of those that I feel like I can just pack on the lid and pack on the lid, and I have to pack it on a lot. I've used it several times and it's never been as pigmented as I would like. The other two shades that I know I'm not going to use are these two glitter shades here, because I can never get glitter to stay on my lids without ending up in my eyes, and it's just too uncomfortable for me. But I feel like it's a great value. I feel like it's a wonderful selection of neutral colors, of mattes and everyday shades that you can wear for the office, and then things that you can add on or do a whole look just to have a more punchy, colorful, vibrant look. There's a really beautiful variety of finishes in here. And I feel like Kathleen really does split the difference between everyday and fun, let's go make a party out of this eye look. So I like it. I definitely recommend it. And it's been one that I can see myself continually reaching for. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching today. If you aren't already, would you please subscribe? You can also find me on Instagram. I'll make sure to leave my handle down below in the description bar. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.